Sure. So for intersectionality, it's a word that means all the parts that make you different come together. So for me, I am a person of color, but also I'm a person with a disability. In other words, I am Black. I'm a Black man, but I have autism. And so those two identities that make me who I am intersect. So that's what intersectionality means.
Right. I'm going to show video.
So yeah, here is a video of a student talking about their identities, and it's called Being Different is Like a Part-Time Job.
So today you will begin writing your own struggle memoirs. Now we have a special guest, somebody who actually wrote her struggle memoir.
The title is Being Different, Being Me. Being different is like a part-time job. You are half yourself, and half the time you try to be someone better for the people to show how you want to be. Walking down the street, people already know that I am different. They react to my appearance like it is something bad by saying, oh, it's a boy, or this is half boy and half girl. I want to be myself, just be Sandra that everybody knows.
Sandra, why are you dressing like a boy? Like, why not just like a girl?
I used to be like all the girls, like, you know, so girly girl, walking to the cinema with the girls, shopping and all of that, and dresses and so nice. And when I came here, I saw that everybody's different here. It's like different nationality, different people, different dressing, culture, and all of that. And I just decided, you know, I'm gonna be who I am, and if you got a problem with me, just, you know, just come and talk to me. If you got a problem, we can solve that. And I just stayed like that, and I'm telling you, being different doesn't mean like you bad or something. It's just being you, be who you are.
Right.
Nice.
And
Good morning, my name is Kira Burke and I'm
sorry about that, spilling over there. Thank you for your patience, everyone.
So intersectionality is when someone belongs to more than one oppressed group. For example, Rachel is Asian, a woman, and she has cerebral palsy. All of these things intersect to make Rachel unique, Rachel's unique identity.
Thank you for catching that typo.
And we are not all the same. We need to be included so we can live our life in our own way. And that is actually a quote from my colleague, Hassan Ko.
Hassan, did you want to say anything? I saw that you were on today.
I'm good. But for my message, I always say like, think before you act. That is my motto. So because like everything what you do is depend on you, what you have to do in your life. So that is, I always say, think before you act.
Thank you, Hassan.
Mm-hmm.
So just again, you want to just repeat these words here? Thank you, Max.
So intersectionality. So we want to introduce a big important concept. So intersectionality equals like when someone belongs to more than one oppressed group. How about this? Remember Jacob? He has an intellectual disability. He is also a black man, and he is also a gay man. And all of these things intersect to make up who Jacob is. And I want people with disabilities to understand and accept me as a black man. And I want people of color to understand and accept me as a person with a disability. I want both sides to continue to understand me as a whole person, no matter what my identities are.
And you were speaking about that as from your
Yes.
personal experience, right, Max?
Yes.
So Max, when you're in like a self-advocacy group or something like that, you're saying that you want the self-advocacy group to kind of understand how you are a black man and how that's part of who you are, and that you have that experience. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then the same way, do you ever get in situations, Max, where you're with other people of color, but they may not have a disability?
I can, yes.
Yeah. And I know that that's what I hear you saying, is that also, so when you're in those situations, you want people to also know and understand your experience as a person with a disability.
Correct.
Okay, so we have one more quick video to show.
This is another video about intersectionality.
And then we just have a few slides, and then we'll open it up for conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Betsy. What the long face?
Hi, Dave. I just got off the phone with my wife. She is having issues at work still.
Oh, no. What's happening?
Well, as I'm sure you know, my wife is Hispanic. She moved to the United States from the Dominican Republic many years ago. Even though she's lived in the U.S. for many years, people are sometimes still hard on her because of her accent.
Wow. Is that why there's issues at work?
Well, that's one of the reasons. Her boss seems to be passing her up for opportunities, and she's just had it. She thinks her boss doesn't like her accent, and after he found out that she was married to a woman, the tension at work got even higher. I feel so awful for her. I wish I knew how to help.
Has she talked to Human Resources about her concerns?
We have discussed that, and I think it will be the next step. It's just tough for her in this situation because she isn't sure where his hostility is coming from.
What do you mean by that?
Have you heard about the theory of intersectionality?
No, actually. What is that?
Intersectionality is the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, class, and gender as they apply to a given individual or group, regarded as creating overlapping and interdependent systems of discrimination or disadvantage.
Could you explain that a little more simply?
Sorry about that. Basically, it's the idea that we are not just one identity. We have many parts of us. You, myself, and my wife are all part of the LGBTQ community, right?
Yes, and my boyfriend too.
Yeah, exactly. Except we all four belong to other groups that make us who we are. Unfortunately, some of us are part of other minority groups that are also discriminated against. My wife, for example, is a Hispanic, lesbian woman. These different points of her intersect, and it creates double and even triple discrimination at times.
Geez, Betsy, I hadn't even thought about that before.
That's all right, Dave. We have spent so much time focusing on segmented groups to promote diversity, but it goes so far beyond that. When my wife, or anyone else that belongs to multiple minority groups, feels discriminated against, it is difficult to understand the cause or even how to approach the situation. My wife, for example, isn't sure if she is experiencing homophobia, sexism, or racism, or even a combination.
Wow. That is really sad when you think about it. Intersectionality isn't something I'd ever considered before, but you're right. Even though we're all a part of the LGBTQ community, none of us experience life in the same way.
Exactly, Dave. Intersectionality is the belief that oppressions are interlinked and cannot be solved alone. This is the pivot of diversity. The more we take the time to get to know and understand people from all walks of life and stop trying to fit ourselves and others into one category, the better off we will be as a society.
I agree, Betsy. I hope things get better for your wife. We've made great strides in universal acceptance, but there's still a long way to go.
Thank you, Dave. I hope so too, and I definitely agree. It is important to truly listen to others and examine our own privileges. I hope we can find a solution with her boss and for anyone else experiencing these issues, both within the workplace and out.
We just have some slides to get through and then I'll get to hands. Unless otherwise.
I'm thinking maybe, Max, we could, I mean, that's a lot of stuff that was in that video.
I think so too.
Maybe we should just pause and just see. You've got Danielle. Maybe Danielle wants to.
Yeah, Danielle and then iPhone. Go ahead, Danielle.
The iPhone is Ross.
That video
Oh.
was really good and informative, and the concept is well stated. But I'm going to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench into the mix here. Intersectionality is the use of terms like I get it what they're saying, but intersectionality can also apply to non-minority groups. If you use me for an example, I'm Caucasian, I'm a woman, but I'm also a woman with a severe disability. And how I'm perceived is based on the fact that of my equipment, my wheelchair, and all the adaptions that I use. Do you know I did an experiment? I sat outside my hospital's door once, just sitting to see who would open the door for me. And I stayed quiet because when I have everything on, people assume I'm nonverbal. So I played it up a little bit. And it happened. They just assumed that I couldn't ask, that I couldn't do anything. And I played around a bit. And a lot of the times, based on who was coming in and out, it was based on race and based on my assumption that I had more services available based on my skin tone. In fact, I got into it once with a Hispanic individual who did exactly what I just said. She assumed that and wouldn't open the door for me because I had actually got to the point and told her that yes, I'm white, but it doesn't mean that I'm affluent. And once she understood that, then she opened the door.
So Danielle, one of the minority groups or one of the identity groups that I hear you saying is that, you know, how much money somebody has is certainly also one of an identity that people have too. So,
and the assumption that just because I'm of an assumed higher wealth identity, that I have more thrown at me based on my skin tone. So in a way, it's a kind of reverse racism almost.
Right. Ooh, let me get back to my slides here, Max.
Go ahead, Ross, then.
And then I'll bring up the slides, Max. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, in my case, because our family were mainly Scottish, because the English ones, but I guess the Hawaiians and Bingo Dash with the Germans. So everybody assumed that we'd be more feistier, and I just happened to be a active mid-range guy they sometimes experience challenges, like for example, for hearing and sight, and a tension level depending on what it is. Some people think that they're going to always pay attention, and then they assume that I'm not listening in. Or it's also because I'm always doing something. So again, they're assuming that I don't always pay attention. Did that make sense?
Yes, it did. All right, so we're going to go to some more slides, and I need everyone to hold off on their questions because or comments due to time. All right, so thank you, Ed, and thank you, Danielle, for sharing. Identity. What does that mean? People have lots of different parts of who they are: race, gender, religion, and more are all part of a person. For example, Tiffany has an intellectual disability. She is also gay, a Hispanic woman who lives in a small town. Tiffany is all these things at the same time. So again, continuing with what intersectionality means, it's all about the different ways a person experiences discrimination. So for Tiffany, she might face discrimination because she has a disability, is Hispanic, is gay, is a woman, and lives in a small town. Also, Tiffany has autism. She grew up being identified as disabled. Her experiences of dealing with unfair treatment because she has a disability and is Hispanic prepared her for coming out as LGBTQ. It is about all the different ways a person experiences discrimination. Anyway, when people do not talk about, discrimination, know at all about it, she feels like, they do not really know her. And when, people ignore her experiences as being Hispanic and gay, it feels like she is, being put down and left out. So when Tiffany is with her self-advocacy group, they only see and talk about her having a disability. They may not be aware of the unfair treatment she gets because she is gay and Hispanic and a woman. So, discussions and interaction. Members of each group fight discrimination. LGBTQ people with disabilities who are not white deal with more discrimination. Joining together gives these groups strength in numbers. It helps all advocates have a louder voice and make everyone's lives